Yo guys, hello, and welcome back to my channel. So, the visuals coming out of the UK regarding the immigration issue, along with all the recent incidents, are showing some serious signs that massive protests might go down across the UK soon. These protests could even escalate into something more serious, maybe even a civil war, and this could trigger a similar chain reaction all over Europe. So, let's break it down and talk about what's really going on in the UK, why so many Brits are pissed off about immigration policies, and why this could lead to massive protests. Let's get into it. Well, right now, things in the UK are getting really heated. A lot of native Brits aren't happy with the influx of immigrants and asylum seekers coming to the UK. There are already movements starting to pop up, with British citizens demanding action from Keir Starmer, especially against outsiders who are committing serious crimes. See, for years now, the UK government has had this open-door policy for asylum seekers and illegal immigrants. People were coming in without much vetting, just allowed to settle in the UK. They were even granted British citizenship. And the crazy part is that, even if they committed major crimes, it was like the UK government just turned a blind eye, all in the name of they're new to the country or they don't understand the law. But recently, a lot of things have been happening in the UK that's opening the eyes of native Brits, and honestly, the whole world. Violent acts like kidnappings, sexual assaults, and other horrific crimes are slowly being revealed, showing how, for years, certain asylum and immigrant groups have been committing these heinous acts. Native British citizens are starting to see how some of these individuals, especially those from countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, Syria, and other Islamic nations, have been murdering people, assaulting British women, grooming children, and basically doing whatever they want without any fear. And why is that? Because they know the British government isn't going to take action. It's clear that they've felt untouchable, and they've been exploiting the UK system for years. Now, if you look at the UK's leadership, with figures like Keir Starmer and the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, it's no surprise Brits are getting frustrated. These guys have openly supported things like Sharia law, giving extra rights to Muslims, and pushing the idea that Eid is just as much a part of the UK as Christmas. So clearly, ordinary British people are worried that the UK could be heading down a dangerous path. Even President Trump knows it.
I will. I'm not a fan of your mayor. I think he's done a terrible job, the mayor of London. But the nasty person, I think he's done. I think
he's a friend of mine, right?
No, I think he's done a terrible job. But I would certainly visit London.
Well, I guess President Trump is truly the only person who could confront Keir Starmer to his face. And speaking of crazy, have you heard about the UK flag situation? People who are proudly flying the British flag at their homes or posting anything related to British culture are getting arrested by the police. These people are getting detained, sometimes even sentenced to 1 to 2 years for simply showing pride in their own country's heritage. It's wild. It's all making things super tense, and a lot of people are wondering how far things will go before there's some serious action. Brits are absolutely furious right now. They have growing frustration with everything going on in their country. They are seeing real evidence of a two-tier justice system, where British citizens are getting slammed with heavy punishments, even for things like posting memes or criticizing the government, while illegal immigrants are basically let off the hook with things like community service, even for serious crimes like sexual assault. And this double standard is really rubbing people the wrong way. It's like the UK government is more concerned with protecting certain groups rather than making sure justice is served equally for everyone. Also at this point, if you think that only China and Russia are the ones cracking down on free speech and human rights, I guess you might need to update your list. The UK is starting to show more signs of becoming an autocratic state than even places like Russia or China. The way the UK government is handling protests, cracking down on free speech, and suppressing British culture is seriously worrying. It's like the UK is no longer standing for the freedoms it once did. It's becoming pretty clear to a lot of people that the UK's democratic values are under threat, and that's making the frustration reach boiling point. Their natives are feeling like their voices are being ignored or even silenced, which is not a good sign for the future. For example, recently, Irish comedy writer Graham Linehan creator of hits like Father Ted, was arrested at Heathrow Airport, and you won't believe what his crime was. He posted some gender-critical comments on X, basically saying people should call the police if transgender women enter female-only spaces, and if that doesn't work, just punch them in the right spot. This got under the skin of the UK government and their ministers, so they sent 5 armed police officers to arrest Graham over accusations of inciting violence. He was taken to the police station, and during questioning, his blood pressure shot up, so they had to take him to the hospital for observation before eventually releasing him on bail. One of the conditions of his bail was that he couldn't use X anymore. So yeah, this kind of stuff is happening in the UK right now. Some big names like J.K. Rowling, Elon Musk, and Piers Morgan have spoken out against these arrests, but honestly, I don't think the UK government cares much about it. This reminds me of a clip of J.D. Vance, where he directly called out UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer for cracking down on free speech in the UK.
Look, I said what I said, which is that we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies, but we also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British. Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
Well, I don't think Keir Starmer even understands what J.D. Vance was saying, because he's the one giving illegal immigrants more rights than actual British people. And this isn't just me talking. I'll tell you what happened recently in the UK. A journalist asked a sitting UK minister, "Your lawyers said the rights of asylum seekers are more important than those of local people. Do you agree with them?" The minister straight up replied, "Of course we do. I mean, at this point, they're not even trying to hide it." And here's a clip of that moment.
Your lawyers, under your guidance, have said in terms that the rights of asylum seekers are more important than the rights of local people in Epping Forest. Would you at least acknowledge that that is what they will hear? And it's up to you. Ministers can say, we agree with that, or we don't agree with it. You can't simply say, let's balance things. Do you agree with what your lawyers said, or don't you?
Yes, of course we do. But
honestly, the UK is on a path of self-destruction. They're letting millions of illegals live in luxury 5-star hotels, and there's a whole government committee supporting this approach. These people are given homes, food, money, everything for free with no questions asked. And the crazy part? They're even allowed to bring their families into the UK if they stick around long enough. The places where these illegals are staying are so bad that authorities had to put up signs warning them, "Do not touch kids." It's insane. This is a classic example of digging your own grave. Even independent media are reporting that in UK schools, children are being forced to write Valentine's letters to asylum seekers. Also, British kids are being forced to learn about Islamic culture. There are rumors going around that Christian kids are being forced to visit mosques. And if they refuse, they could be kicked out of school.
In schools, they're pressuring us to learn about Islam and learn about the people that are coming over. I don't want to learn about that. I want to learn about my culture, my beliefs, and I'm proud to be English.
I'll tell you, the anger against Keir Starmer is growing in the UK, and sooner or later, Brits will revolt against him. The crazy part is, instead of recognizing the problem and fixing it, the UK government just keeps pushing more anger onto the public. They even appointed another Muslim woman, Shabana Mahmood, as the new Home Secretary of the UK. That means she's now in charge of overseeing immigration policies and national security. And we all know how that's probably going to turn out. So the way things are going, in the next few months, or maybe a year, there's a real chance the UK could see a civil war-like situation. The anger is building, and it's going to explode soon. And with the UK possibly trying to get involved with Russia, I don't think British people will be too eager to follow the government's orders in that case either. So yeah, insane things are happening in the UK, and it's only going to get worse in the future. What do you think about the current situation in the UK? Do you still see it as the same old developed nation? Or do you think it's just a declining nation now? Comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.